Good afternoon, Hornets. Welcome to the 2026-2027 school year open house. We are very happy to have you here with us today. I am Principal Tony Perry, and I'm very proud to be with you today for yet another year, another amazing year at Albemarle Road. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am a Hornet. I've been a Hornet since 2006 in multiple capacities: principal intern, facilitator, assistant principal, and I've been the principal here since 2011. I'm very proud to be with such an amazing group of students and an amazing staff. Family-wise, I have a son and a daughter-in-law, and I have three grandchildren, one seventh grader, one second grader, and one who is on the way in just a few days. Some things about Albemarle Road Middle School. We are very proud of who we are, the growth that we have accomplished over the many years that we've been here. To begin with, we are a National Forum School to Watch, which means that our school has gone rigorous inspection, if you'll call it, to make sure that we are meeting the needs of students in the areas of academic expectations, developmental, social, and organizational structure. So we are very proud of that. This year, we will redesignate as a National Forum School to Watch. So I may be calling on you to help us during those interviews. So if you're willing, be sure to reach out. We are also a Title I school, which for us means that we spend the majority of our extra Title I money on additional staffing and stipends for our highest performers. We do also purchase a family advocate position to best support the students and families at our school, and we are an IB school. Now, when I mentioned the schools to watch, I told you we'd redesignate. The same is true of IB. This year, we will also redesignate as an IB World School, and we are looking forward to that, and we'll give you more details about it as those two things approach. Last year and for the past few years, we have exceeded expected growth, and we are anticipating that we will exceed growth again this year, but that data has not been released and it is not official yet. So we will continue to wait to see how do we do as Hornets last year so that we can even better plan for this school year. Exceeding growth takes a lot of hard work, and that work doesn't just come from the folks who are in the building, the students and our staff. That work also comes from hard work that our families put in to ensure that their children are at school every day, are well prepared to learn, and are making responsible decisions. A few things about this year. You've heard, I'm sure, in the news, lots about device usage. We'll continue along the trajectory that we've had for a couple years. The first is that Chromebooks will not come home again this year. We will store Chromebooks here. The reason is because we had quite a bit of damage and lost computers when we were sending them home. And then also, we didn't think we were getting a strong return on investment with the amount of homework and digital platform engagement we had after school hours. So Chromebooks will not go home this year. We will store them in our classroom. However, students will need a wired set of earbuds, and that's pictured here on the screen. We will have iReady every day, and in some classes, we'll have it a couple times a day, once for AE and then for about 10 minutes in another class. So we want to make sure that all of our students are getting to maximize the instruction that is happening on iReady. So please make sure that if you need to prioritize any supply, this is the one. There has been a cell phone/device ban in the state of North Carolina during instructional time. Our students do store their devices, that includes anything technology based, in their book bags, their phones, their watches. If they happen to have meta glasses, all those things are stored in their book bags and in what we call the drop zone, which is away from where they are. Cell phones and devices are not able to be in use during instructional time. And for Albemarle Road, that is at any time during the school day. So if you'll please help us by supporting that. Students who do happen to have their cell phones out, we usually do take the phone and we'll give it back at the end of the day. But if there are multiple incidents, then we will ask families to come up to retrieve the cell phone. So please make sure that you've discussed that with your child, and be sure that you are helping us to reiterate this expectation at home. We have amazing goals again this year, and one of them is to be sure that we increase the number of students who are scoring college and career ready. What that means is every student, we want to have a solid foundation in the grade level content that they're being taught this year. That means we're not just barely making it, we're not just crossing the finish line to claim that we're proficient, but we are doing all that we can to ensure that we are top students in our class and not just barely crossing the finish line. So that's something that we'll work on, continue to work on this year. We also want to be sure that we are in complete contact with you about your child's progress and expectations at school. We need your help with chronic absenteeism. Last year, chronic absenteeism got to about 40% at our school, and that is way too high. We need every student here every day, unless they are feverish. We need them here in the building every day because if you're not at school, you can't learn. If you're not learning, you can't achieve the fours and the fives that we have in our goals. Also, decreasing suspensions will be a goal this year. However, we will not allow disruptive behavior to happen because of this goal. So we are going to work to be sure that our students are fully familiar with and have been practicing the expectations around our building so that we can exceed expected growth again in 2027. This is our Hornet Way. These are the general expectations that we have for our students. They're very easy for every student to accomplish. Be present and on time to class. Be respectful, be responsible, be honest, and be polite. These are things we can all accomplish. There is nothing wrong with doing something kind for somebody. It is our expectation that you are participating in class and doing what's expected in all areas of our building, whether someone is watching or not. So if you'll continue to help us reiterate with your children, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I mentioned attendance, but I do want to just really put a stamp on that even right now. It is essential that every student is in class every day from 8:30 until 3:30. Early release checkouts do not need to happen, especially on a regular basis. No student will be able to check out after 3 o'clock, but we need students here every single day. If your child is missing more than one day a month, that is too much school to have missed, and we need your help with making sure that they get here. If they're missing more than one day a month, they're on the chronic absenteeism list, and that is not good. We do not need the social worker having to work with you about getting your child to school. So help us help you by not by sending your child to school every day. Thank you. All right, we also need your help with being sure you signed up for Infinite Campus. Infinite Campus and Parent Square are going to be essential items for you to understand what's happening at school at all times. Parent Square will be where you get all communication coming from me, coming from teachers, coming from the district. You can stay best informed if you have a Parent Square app. Please make sure that you have that done. If you do not have it done, there will be a triage table at open house today in the cafeteria. If you need support, go there so that we can support you. Additionally, we need your help with getting into Infinite Campus. Infinite Campus is where all grades will be stored. And you remember last school year, we do not send printed report cards home anymore. That means you won't see printed progress reports and you will not see printed report cards. That means it's going to be up to you to check to make sure. When I send the message to notify you that it is time to check for grades, I need you checking them so that we can be sure your child is tracking the way that you need them to have a successful school year. So I talked about Infinite Campus already. That's what the app looks like. Let's be sure that we get it as soon as possible, today preferably. We also need your help with establishing some at-home routines, such as having a consistent bedtime. I can't tell you the number of classes that I'm in trying to support, and I'm waking students up because they're telling me they were up on the game all night last night, or they were up on their phone all night last night. Please be sure that your child has a consistent bedtime. I'm going to suggest no later than 10 o'clock. Also, they need to have a consistent study time and a study place. They will have homework every day in math and in reading. So it is essential that they have a place where they go to study. Finally, technology boundaries. There'll be boundaries here at school because they can't have devices out, but we need you to have boundaries at home too. If you think about if all the child does when they go home is get on their phone and they just remain there for hours, how much time was spent doing something that when they could have been increasing their learning or preparing for the next day? Help us out, please, by doing these three things, and we greatly appreciate you for it. All right, the final thing is making sure that we are responsible. And I mentioned this to some extent already. The Hornet Way keeps us very in the know about what we expect around our building. And that is true for everyone. And it's true for me, it's true for our whole staff, and it's true for our students. So our students are not the only folks that are following the Hornet Way. I am as well. And I need for you to hold me to account for doing those same things. A few things that are non-negotiable you'll see listed here. We do not vape, and we do not use drugs. Vaping and drugs are not for school use. They are not for middle school use, period. But if that is something that you are working with your child on, please understand that they are not to have those items at school. And if you need support with that, we can call in district support to help us if there is an issue with addiction. Also, use of profanity needs to stop, and certainly we will not use profanity towards our teachers. That's a negotiable behavior. Please make sure that aggressive behavior is cut out. If you are bothering people consistently, bullying, trash talking, trying to provoke them to fight, and all of that, that will be met with a suspension, as well as attendance and cell phones. Those are not suspendable items, but we want to make sure that everyone understands that's not negotiable. With cell phones, if I collect it, and I've done so several times, your family is coming to pick it up. Eventually, I'm going to keep it for more than just that day. And then with attendance, of course, we all know if we are not in attendance, our social worker will have to call truancy, and there will be procedures for truancy. Some celebrations that we have, monthly behavior celebrations happen all the time, and that has to do with our grades and our behavior. We also have quarterly celebrations for our grades. We celebrate IB as well, and iReady is a big deal. So we do celebrate performance on iReady, assessments, performance, as well as attendance. There are a lot of field trips related to attendance. So if your child wants to be involved in that, understand field trips are going to require your student to be proficient and your child to be in attendance every day. So I want to thank you for this time today. It is extremely helpful to us that you start the year with us so that everyone is in the know about who we are as Hornets. We know that you're going to have an amazing time meeting your teachers today and that we're going to have an amazing year shining bright like a diamond. Thank you, Hornets. Enjoy your visit today.